When I post pictures of my Rainbowfish Aquarium on social media, I do get quite a lot of questions thrown back at me each and every time. Things like, what tank size? Do you need a heater with Rainbowfish? Do you need lighting? What kind of filtration do you use? Even what do Rainbowfish eat and how often do you feed? So I've put this video together today to bring together all the questions that I keep getting asked. So let's take a look. So the main questions really that come through to me are regarding my setup. So I get asked what tank size. So it's a 240 litre, 4 foot in length, fluval tank. I have a fluval 407 filter running on there, and the lighting is 2 fluval plant lights. I also received the question of what's that big red plant to the left hand side of your tank? That is a Lotus tiger lily. If you keep it trimmed, it bushes out at the bottom. It has given me 3 new bulbs, which I do let grow in there as well, and it becomes really bushy. And as you can see, it's a beautiful plant. It is also a heated aquarium, but we will cover heating the aquarium later on in the video. The one thing I am always asked regarding live plants is, do you actually need live plants in a Rainbowfish aquarium, or in any aquarium as it is really? And yeah, I really do believe you do. I know people will add plastic plants, but live plants just give you so much more. Obviously, to start off with, they're beautiful to look at, but they're also nature's filtration system, and they're going to feed on the ammonia and the nitrites and the nitrates that are in the water, and they're going to pull them out. They're going to clean that water for you, which obviously helps when it comes down to your maintenance. Plants offer great sanctuary to fish when they're spooked, and they also offer great sources of places where they can actually spawn, and the fry can grow up safely in those plants. And the next question is, how do I know the fish I'm buying are healthy and the shop I buy from are reputable? Okay, so it's always good to do a bit of research into the shop where you're buying from first. So you can do that through Google and check the reviews. Check the reviews, see how many 5-star reviews they've got. More importantly, check the 1-star reviews. If they have any, see what that customer's problem was and how it was rectified. It's a great indication of whether the shop you're buying from is a good shop. And as for buying healthy fish, well, observe the fish. Spend a few minutes watching those fish. Are they lively, or are they lay on the bottom? Is there any signs of damage to the scales? Any signs of white spot, bulging eyes, etc.? Also, ask the store if they will feed the fish for you, so you can actually see if they're feeding. If they're feeding, it's a good indication that everything's fine. Which leads me to the next question of, when you've bought fish, how do you acclimate them? So people have their own ways of acclimating fish, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to do it, but I will tell you how I do it. So obviously I buy from a reputable company, so I can kind of trust their water. I then, when I get home, I turn the lights out on the fish tank as not to spook the fish. I then float the bag for about 30 to 40 minutes at the top of the aquarium, so the temperature becomes the same as what the tank is to the bag. During that half an hour though, I do keep adding little bits of the tank water to the bag, just to try and get that water as near to each other as possible. I then, when the half an hour to 40 minutes is up, I will then pour away a majority of that water, and I will then pour the rest into the aquarium. A lot of people pour the fish into a net and then add the fish that way, which I suppose is fine. I just think that can add a little bit of, well, it can spook your fish, can't it? It can scare them a little bit, and I think that's unnecessary. So if you trust the water, I don't really see a problem with pouring a little bit of that tank water into your aquarium. And if you don't trust the water from the aquarium you've bought the fish, why have you bought the fish? Once the fish have been added, I then do tend to leave the aquarium lights off until the next day, just so they can settle in a low light aquarium. It just helps them settle in better. The next question I have here is, how many fish should I add? Okay, so there's two ways to look at this at the end of the day. So when you're buying rainbowfish are a schooling fish, so they like to be in a majority, in numbers of 6+. But you also don't want to add too many fish to the aquarium where it will destroy your nitrogen cycle and you can get an ammonia spike. So when you're buying an amount of fish, it's always good to have a look at how many they like to be in a group. So if they're saying 6+, then buy 6. Then next time you go, buy another 6 if you want. Just make sure you are putting enough fish in there so the fish are happy, but not too many fish, as well, obviously, to cause those ammonia spikes. The next question I have is, do I still need to test my aquarium water parameters once the aquarium is cycled? And the answer to that briefly is yes. You still need to test that water. Maybe not as much, and as you become to know your aquarium, you kind of know when there's things going wrong. But I would still test your water regularly, especially the water that's going into your aquarium. If your source is from the tap, it's always good to test the source water before you put it into the aquarium, so you know where you're at. I test this tank every other week, and I test my source water every week, as I want to make sure that I'm not going to pump bad water into the aquarium. And I obviously do this before I take the water out of the aquarium. So it's always good to have a good quality water testing kit at hand all the time. The next question is, do I have to do water changes? And if so, how much and how often? So water changes can be a little bit of a contentious issue. It depends how you've set your aquarium up. Some people don't do water changes. Some people will just do a top-up system, so when the water level goes down, they'll just fill it back up, which is great. But for rainbowfish actually thrive in the freshness of a water change. And this tank gets 30 to 40% of the water volume every single week, and I can tell when I'm doing the water changes that the fish love it. The action around where the water's coming in is incredible, and it also induces spawning. And not just on rainbowfish, water changes can induce spawning behaviour on quite a lot of different species. So yes, you don't have to do a water change on certain setups, but for a rainbowfish aquarium, I would highly recommend doing one quite large every week. So what should those water parameters be? You need to be looking for a pH of between 6.5 and 8, a KH of between 5 and 20, and a GH between 5 and 15. The most important thing regarding your water parameters in any aquarium environment is stability. And that's why you need to keep those tests coming, to make sure that that water is nice and stable at all times. The next question I have here is, do I need to gravel vac? So if you've got live plants growing in your aquarium, you do not want to be gravel vaccing. What the gravel vac is in a live planted aquarium is your live plants. Your live plants will break down that poop and they will feed off all the nutrients that are in there. Now, if you gravel vac, you're just going to remove food in which your plants will thrive on. So planted aquarium, be it rainbowfish or any type of aquarium that's planted, Steer clear of gravel vac and your plants will respect you for it. The next question we have today is, does my Rainbowfish aquarium require a heater? It does require a heater, I'm afraid, yes, and I would say more than one. Because of the size of the aquarium that a Rainbowfish requires, I would have at least 2 heaters in there, just to one, it helps, each heater can help each other out so they're not overworking. It'd probably work out cheaper in the long run having 2 heaters rather than having 1 heater running all the time trying to keep your water up to temperature. And so yes, they are a tropical fish and they do require a heated aquarium. Now the temperatures there, you need to be looking at temperatures ranging from 75 degrees Fahrenheit up to around about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. You can actually take the temperature up to 82, and that works out around about 24 to 28 degrees Celsius. If you have made it up to this point in the video, I do thank you so much. And if you could just take the time out to click the like button and maybe even subscribe to the channel if you haven't, but if you could just click that like button and maybe leave a comment, that'd be great. Thank you. The next question today is, are Rainbowfish aggressive? Well, no, not really. They are known for being a community tank fish, although the males can show little bits of aggression to each other during spawning. So yes, they can be slightly aggressive, but pretty much make a great community aquarium. Which then leads me to the next question of what tank mates can you keep with Rainbowfish? So anything that's non-aggressive, certain fish that may take up different parts of the aquarium, so like Corydoras, because they stay at the bottom, they're a great addition to a tank, to a Rainbowfish tank. Certain size, or the smaller size plecos are also a good addition. Larger tetras, to be honest, even neon tetras you probably get away with at when your Rainbowfish are slightly younger. Now they do have quite a small throat, Rainbowfish, so they wouldn't really be able to swallow like a neon tetra, but they probably would try. So the larger tetras like the cardinals, mollies are a great addition to a Rainbowfish aquarium, platies, swordtails, although you do just have to watch swordtails because the males can be aggressive. But yeah, any fish that it's seen as a community fish would be a great addition to a Rainbowfish aquarium. What I would say, actually, because Rainbowfish are a schooling fish, fish that school, Rainbowfish will shoal together with them and can offer you a great display in your aquarium. So tank mates, other fish that school are a great addition. The next question I have is, how do I sex Rainbowfish? So basically you can sex a Rainbowfish basically by the colour. And there is other ways, and I have done a video and I'll leave a card at the top of the screen for that, so I'm not going to go into it in depth. But like a majority of fish, Rainbowfish, or male Rainbowfish, will possess way more colour than the female. And this is quite obvious, so it's a good way of sexing. As I say, check the video out that I've made regarding sexing, because I'll go into details of the fins, etc., that are other ways of sexing your Rainbowfish, especially when they're a little bit younger. I have actually just covered the next question just then. Are Rainbowfish a schooling fish? Yes, they are a schooling fish. Schooling means that they will swim round in their groups of the same type of fish. But as I've just mentioned, they are a great fish to add to other schooling fish, because they will then shoal together. The next question I have is, do Rainbowfish require light? So no, Rainbowfish do not require light. But if you have a Rainbowfish aquarium with live plants in, it does require light. And light of up to 8 hours. If you're just starting a new aquarium, start your lighting off at, say, maybe 3 to 4 hours and build that up over the next few weeks. But as a question is, do Rainbowfish require light? No. No fish actually require light. We put the light in there for our benefit so we can see our fish. The fish have no benefit from the light whatsoever. But as I say, if you've got a planted Rainbowfish aquarium, then a light is a must. The next question that's come through is, can I make money from my Rainbowfish aquarium? Well, you can actually make money from all your aquariums. You can obviously do this through breeding the fish, although you do technically need a license to sell the fish. So you can make money from your Rainbowfish aquarium, but I'd look at more doing it from the plants if you want to use your aquarium as a source of income. You can make great money from plants like Java fern. A lot of the epiphytes where they'll just keep growing and you can cut the rhizome and then you've got two plants. The Lotus tiger lily, it produces bulbs. They can be sold on. Java moss. Java moss is another great way of making money. It's a fast growing moss and you can make some good money out of it. You can also make money from your stem plants. Now, we all put our stem plants in and we all know you cut and replant, but at some point your tank's going to be full, so what do you do with them then? I've just recently set up a tub that's got a little filter in there and some gravel and a little bit of soil in there, and I've now got a tub where I'm growing stem plants in there as well, and when I get enough I can go down to my local store. They may buy them off me, or I can just swap them out for maybe fish or food or whatever. But either way, making money and saving money, you can do this if you do it right with your aquarium. Your hobby can start paying back. The next question I've seen is, I have an aquarium, can I still go on holiday? Yes, you can. But I'd say regarding going on holiday, give it a couple of months before. If you're going to use feeding blocks, a couple of months before, test those feeding blocks to see how fast they dissolve in your water, because different water hardnesses will have a different effect on food blocks. You can install auto feeders. I'd do that a couple of months before you go away, just to make sure that they're working correctly. If you're going away for a week, your rainbow fish aren't going to suffer if you fast them for a week. But if you go on holiday, have you got a friend that can pop in and maybe, feed them daily, or just make sure everything's okay so you can enjoy your holiday? But yes, don't let your aquarium stop you going away. The next question that's come through is, how often do I feed my rainbow fish and what do I feed them? So rainbow fish do prefer to be fed little and often. So when I can, I try to feed them 3 times a day. When I'm at work, that just obviously can't happen. I don't have auto feeders on here. So when I'm at work, we tend to try and feed them twice a day. And I tend to feed them mainly defrosted frozen food, and I also have a brine shrimp hatchery which is constantly going, so I can feed live food all the time. Every time I go to the aquarium, if they have a good selection of live foods, I will get a few bags. And I also have a good quality flake food and good quality pellets. The next question is it true that rainbow fish are now classed as an endangered species in the wild? Yes, rainbow fish, a majority of the rainbow fish species are now classed as endangered by the IUCN. They are on the red list. I believe that the Bozeman is now classed as endangered. So is the Susie, so is the blue rainbow fish. One of the main questions that you see on social media is, do I need to cycle my aquarium? And yes, you do need to cycle your aquarium, and there are 3 different ways of doing this. So if you want to know what them 3 ways are to cycle your aquarium, then watch this video next.